Hello again and welcome back to Spotlight. I'm Donna Lampkin-Stevens. You know, Spotlight is all about the people and events at the University of Central Arkansas's College of Fine Arts and Communication. And we have a special couple of shows this summer to preview the 2013-14 public appearances season at Reynolds Performance Hall. Now, Jerry Biebesheimer has retired, so we'll have my friend Ashley Love, Director of Finance and Marketing for UCA Public Appearances, to join us in a moment to tell us about the new season. So join us when we return. Ashley Love, Director of Finance and Marketing for UCA Public Appearances, joins me now. And we should say, Ashley, that Jerry's replacement, Amanda Horton, has not officially joined us as we tape these shows. So you'll all get a chance to meet her on a future Spotlight. But Ashley, welcome back.
Thank you.
Now, we've known for several months that Jerry was planning to retire. So did that have any effect on your involvement with planning this season, or have you always sort of been involved?
I've always had some involvement with planning the season. I keep kind of a wish list of things that if they came around here, I would like for us to get in Reynolds. But this year he did involve me a little bit more, going to conferences with him and assisting him on the planning of the entire season.
Tell us about those conferences. It's Arts Midwest?
Arts Midwest
Tell me about
Conference.
that.
It kind of rotates every year. This year it was in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and so we went there in September. And that's kind of the first jumping off point to start planning a season. You go
for everybody.
For everyone. You go and you meet agents and you kind of see what they have coming around for the next year. And you just start writing it down and see when they'll be available in your area. And that's kind of just the first point.
How was that for your first time? Was it exciting, and did you add to your wish list?
I definitely added to my wish list, especially when you know exactly what's going to be touring for the next year.
Right.
And so I had a huge list of people that I would just personally wanted to see or would love to have here that I know would go over really well in Reynolds.
And so I guess you'll be helping with the transition with Amanda. Do you know if you'll be going back to Arts Midwest again?
I do not know. It is in Austin this year, and I'd really like to go to Austin. But it is in September, and I will be in my third trimester of my pregnancy.
That's right.
So
that's right. Okay. So
it's
maybe
really
not.
up to Amanda. If she would like for me to go, then I'll probably go.
Okay. Okay. So how do you go about, Ashley? Is it like a big puzzle? I mean, this is a huge, monumental planning process. Tell me about just the logistics of planning a season.
Sure. Well, first you start by going to that conference, and then a lot of people go to some other conferences in New York and some larger areas just to meet more with the agents and kind of get a better feel for what will be coming around their area. And so it is just a huge puzzle. First you kind of think about what you would like to see coming. Then you have to narrow down actually what we'll be traveling through and make sure that the date works, make sure we have it available in Reynolds, make sure it fits our budget. And all of these things have to fall into place, and somehow magically every year it works out.
I would think that it's like you're constantly waiting on that first piece, right? And then you build around, and then you're just trying to fill in the blanks. Is that right?
Yes, and we have those mini series. So we think about Broadway, and we try to get a few ideas of what will be coming through that would fit that category, and then the pops, and so concerts, and just people who will be touring. Maybe we try to do a country or something nostalgic every year, and then something for like the college age crowd, and then we just kind of build from that. And then of course we have 2 lectures, and so we have to think about who's going to
balance and
who's available and will fit our budget and that people would like to see.
So in September, really, the process starts for next year.
Yes.
And it's not really finished until it's announced in debut, right, in May.
Yes.
I mean, it's a long process.
It literally takes that 8-9 months to get it all worked out, and they start in the bigger cities and kind of work their way down. So Conway's kind of lowered on that list, but because we're so close to the interstate, it's very easy for people to pop in here for a day on their way from Tulsa to Memphis or Dallas to St. Louis, whatever.
And sometimes we get some really good ones unexpectedly because of that, right?
Yes. Last year we got Drumline unexpectedly because they were coming through and they had a Saturday available and they needed to fill it, so they gave us a really good deal.
Okay, so give us your overall impressions about the 2013-14 season. It's really a rock star, isn't it?
Yes, it's a great season. It's larger than this previous one, not just by the number of performances, but also just the names. We've just have so many that are going to stand out, and people are really going to just be really excited about and can't wait to get tickets.
Okay. Now, before we get into specifics, let's talk a little bit about structure, because you've tweaked the series still a little bit, right?
For the most part, it's the same. We have 4 performances in the Broadway series and 4 in the pop series, and we have 5 in the night out at Reynolds series, which is just kind of a hodgepodge, a little bit of everything. And then we have 2 lectures, but this year we're doing a special family event which will take place on a Saturday morning, and it's going to be aimed at children.
Okay. So talk a little bit about the price structure. We'll hit tickets more later, but sort of what is the price structure?
For those series tickets, like for Broadway or Pops, they kind of range from $80 to $160, kind of depending on...
For the total?
For a ton of... depending on where you like to sit. And then we have a performing arts package, which includes all 3 of those series. So that's 13 performances, and it ranges from $250 to $400 per person, depending on where you'd like to sit. And then we have single tickets, which will go on sale in August, and that's $30 to $40 and $10 for children. And then this family performance is $10 for adults and $5 for children.
So literally, anybody can afford this.
Yes, absolutely.
And lots of people can afford really, really nice seats.
Yes.
So it's a great bargain. Okay, so today we're going to talk about 2 of the series. So let's start with this Broadway that we talked about. And the first event is Cirque Dreams Rocks. So tell us about that.
Yes, it'll be here on September the 19th at 7:30, and it's a rock show and a circus all together.
Perfect.
Yes, it doesn't get any better. It's a cirque, so like Cirque du Soleil, anything that you're used to with that term cirque, but it's a circus theme, so bright colors, big costumes. All the while, a live band is on stage playing like classic rock hits from all of the decades. It all ties in together.
So it is coordinated.
Yes.
You'll be able to follow. Oh, that's neat.
So they have ice skaters and acrobats and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Now, did you see them at Arts Midwest?
No, we did not.
And then there's one that really looks cool to me, the Addams Family musical. Now, this is the old Addams Family.
This is based off of the original Addams Family, and it'll be here on November 18th. The storyline is really cute. It follows Wednesday Addams, their daughter, and she's grown up and she has fallen in love with a man.
Oh boy.
And she really wants her family to meet him, but his family is your typical mainstream normal family. So they're very distraught by this and by who she's selected to spend her life with. But
You mean the Addams Family is distraught that they're okay.
Yes, that she's going to be into a normal family. And so they invite his family over for dinner, and that's the whole plot of the musical.
So it's set on a one evening.
I think it might be over a couple of evenings, but a couple days.
I saw the preview at debut, and it looks like it's going to be a scream.
Yes.
So, and then on January the 21st, we have Broadway on Ice. Now have we done ice skating?
We have
Reynolds?
never done ice skating before. We will transform the stage into an ice rink, and it will cover the whole stage, and I think it's a 2 to 3 day process, and it's going to take a lot of work, but we are really excited to see how this plays out. You will have a live band on the stage with
on the ice.
Singers, with the singers and our Steinway piano and dancers, and they'll be doing all of the Broadway hits.
Wow. Wow, I can't even think about it. So how do you actually do that? Do they put
They put like a tarp down, and then they kind of build the ice
on
over
top of that? Okay.
And obviously they've been doing this for about 10 years, so they've mastered it.
Right. Wow. Wow. Okay. And then what is Sweet Charity, which will be here March the 20th?
Yes, that is based off of the 1966 Broadway musical by the same name, and then in 1969 it was turned into a movie in which Shirley MacLaine played Charity Hope Valentine, the lead role, and it's won 5 Tony Awards. It's had 2 Broadway revivals, and now it's out on tour, so we were lucky to get it. But it's just your classic 60s themed movie, or in this case story, yes, about a girl who's just very unlucky in romance and just always gives and gives of herself.
Okay, so look back. You've been here how long, Ashley?
5 years.
Okay, so look back at the other Broadway series. How does this series compare to others, do you think?
I think this one has more variety than the others. Normally we'll do 3 musicals or all musical, and in this case we have 2 musicals, a cirque, and then something with the ice that we've just never done before.
Right.
So we've had Broadway reviews, but not to this caliber of ice skating and live band and all of that.
Now, I'm curious how this ice skating came about. Had people suggested that? Do you get suggestions for any? Or this is going to blow everybody away?
This is going to just blow everybody away. It has received just huge positive feedback from the community thus far after announcing it at debut, and it was just something we came across talking to an agent that we work with a lot, and she suggested it, and after watching the videos we were very intrigued.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about how these agents work. Like how many, like this agent that you were talking about, how many acts would she represent?
She might have between 15 and 20.
Okay, and that's typical?
And it's just all kinds of variety. She has some Cirque stuff and some Broadway stuff and singers and a little bit of everything.
That's interesting. Okay, so that concludes the Broadway series, and I think you're right, it's a fabulous list. So we will come back in a minute and we'll talk about the Pop series. Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm back again with Ashley Love, and we're talking now about the Pop series of the UCA Public Appearances 2013-14 season. And the Pop series, Ashley, includes 4 events, which will start with our homecoming concert October the 24th. So tell us what's coming.
Well, first on October 24th, like you mentioned, is Grits and Glamour. And this is a combination with Lori Morgan and Pam Tillis, who are 2 country music icons, just women who have been, since birth, really been into the country music scene. And
because they have famous fathers.
Yes.
Right?
Okay. Pam Tillis is the daughter of Mel Tillis. And Lori Morgan is the daughter of George Morgan. And so both women performed on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry at young ages, 6, 8, 10, and just were really put into that world from an early age.
And they had these solo careers from a long time ago,
yes.
Right? I mean, I remember them 20 years ago.
Yes, absolutely. They've both had just numerous #1 hits, just independently over the last 20, 30 years. And then it wasn't until recently that they decided, well, this would be fun if we decided to go tour together.
Well, I was going to ask about that. How do you know how that came about? I mean, were they friends? Did they grow up together? Or?
I don't think they really grew up together. I don't think they knew each other until they were older and both really successful on their own. But somehow they've just developed this friendship over time, and so they decided to go out on tour.
So who is Grits?
I don't think we're supposed to ask that question. No, I don't know. I think they would both be Glamour.
Yeah, it seems like, yeah. So will they perform individually and then also together? Or?
Yes,
okay.
And they'll sing backup for each other's songs because they'll do their hits over time.
Okay.
And it's actually like 2 acoustic sets. So Lori will have hers and Pam will have her, and then they'll kind of just go back and forth and then combine together.
Oh, okay, that sounds neat. And it is the homecoming concert, so that October 24th is what day of the week?
I believe it's a Thursday night.
Okay, so it'll be Thursday heading into homecoming weekend. So, okay. And we like to have, I mean, I hesitate to say this, but I am in that age group. We kind of like to have an oldies band for homecoming because that's lots of oldies come back for homecoming.
Right. Well, and normally we do, like we've had Peter Noon with the Herman's Hermits, and we had Gary Puckett this past season, and so we have tried to stay in that more 60s, 70s
genre,
era.
sort of.
But this year, I think we're actually going to get a lot more of the people who've only been out 10 to 20 years from college, and so I think that we're going to hit more across the every demographic, and we'll have students come too, so it's really great.
Have you found that this is really popular? I mean, are more and more people coming back every year for this? I mean, do they come a day early for this if they're coming for the weekend, or do we draw from around here? So
we draw from a little bit of everywhere. It's really, I think it depends more on the artist.
Okay.
But we've heard of alumni coming from Mississippi and Tennessee and Texas to come to see.
And they
so
make a real weekend.
They'll come a day early and come to our performance and then stay for the whole weekend.
I think that's great. And then Straight No Chaser. Okay, now they were here when?
Now this is a great story. They were here last November, so just a few months ago, and it was the quickest selling event in our entire history. We were sold out 10 or 11 weeks before their performance. And we had to hold back 100 seats just to sell to our UCA students, because without doing
Only
that,
100?
well, we wouldn't have been able
Right.
to sell any to them. So we had to really push
Okay.
hard to hold that back.
Tell us about the group, because it's an interesting group.
Yes, they started as an a cappella group when they were all attended college together at Indiana University.
How many are there?
There are 10.
Okay.
And the lineup has changed over time. Some of them aren't original members, but that's how the group did form in the mid-90s. And they're just started as an a cappella group, and they would play around campus and frat parties and graduations and whatnot. And so after they all graduated, they went on their separate ways, and some of them became news producers, and some of them just went and got normal jobs, IT, whatever. And then somebody posted a video of their 12 Days of Christmas a cappella from back in the 90s.
When they were in college.
And it just went viral.
So when was this?
This was, I believe, in like 06.
So they were out for a while, living normal
10 years.
lives. Yeah. Okay. And then just bam.
And then just blew up all over YouTube and just went crazy viral. And a music producer at Atlantic Records found it and signed them, and they've been making albums and touring ever since.
So they left their regular jobs, and wow, that's incredible. And so so we had them last year. Now we have had repeat, guests, but not so quickly, right?
No, not so
So
quickly.
this is by popular demand.
Absolutely. We were not even done with the performance when people were already asking us, please bring them back. I cannot wait to see them again. And they're just really wonderful men. They stayed afterwards and signed autographs for a couple of hours. And I think that next morning was a Monday morning. We came into the office and our email and voicemails were just flooded with requests. Please bring them back. I can't wait to see them again.
Well, that's funny because I remember going to the pharmacy, and my pharmacist Bill said, my wife wants tickets to this thing, and I said, oh, Bill, that's been sold out long ago, but I think they're coming back. So I'll have to be sure and tell him now to get the tickets early.
That will be one that you will want to make sure to get tickets as soon as you can, the day they go on sale, because it will not be around for very long.
Okay. Any chance we'll get them back a third time?
No, definitely not. This is it.
This is it.
Their latest album, Under the Influence, came out at the beginning of May, and on it they're collaborating with Elton John, Dolly Parton, Jason Mraz.
Wow.
So no, they will not be playing a venue of our size anymore after this.
So come now. Come now. And then this is a different kind of Christmas show. We've had Pat Boone, we've had Glenn Campbell, and the Celtic band last year. Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, Wild and Swingin' Holiday.
Yes. When we heard about this, I was so excited. I thought a swing music holiday show would be a ton of fun. And originally we were looking at a Saturday date, but they weren't able to make it work. So we are doing a Monday night, but it's still a great date night. Sounds
Monday,
like
December 9th.
Sounds like a great date night to go to dinner, go to this. The hardest thing about this performance will be wanting to stay in your seat, because you'll just want to dance. It's so much fun.
So tell us about the group. Who are they?
They started about 20 years ago, and they just really started in like local clubs and built up doing swing music. And the fact that they were able to make that popular in the era of grunge and garage rock really says something. And then they had a couple of songs that were picked up on the indie film Swingers with Vince Vaughn, and it was on that soundtrack. And of course, that's a cult classic, so that's really helped put their music into that.
So how many members of the band?
I do not know. I think it's like 7 or 8.
It's a big group. Okay, very good. And then on April 22nd, we have an evening with Bailiff, Fleck, and Corea. So tell me, I've heard of both of them, but tell me about this, because this is sort of an unusual.
This is definitely an unusual collaboration.
Okay.
Yes, Bailiff Fleck is a banjo player. He is known as the best banjo player in the world. He has over 13 to 15 Grammys, but he's been nominated close to 30 times. Just an absolute. He has the most been nominated for the most Grammys in each different category. So he's
okay.
done pop and he's done instrumental, just everything across the board he's been nominated for his banjo. And he has a band called Bailiff, Fleck and the Fleck Tones, and they normally tour together, but he started doing some collaborations with other artists independently, and this is one of them. And so he'll be here with Corea, who is a well-known jazz pianist. He started out playing with Cab Calloway in the 60s, and then he replaced Herbie Hancock as the pianist for Miles Davis.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
This was, 50 years ago, and he has just been, he has been nominated for Grammys 59 times, and he's won 22 of them. So between the two of them, you're looking at 35 Grammys.
And I mean, they seem to be really different styles. So
yes.
how does
banjo and jazz
piano?
piano?
So tell me how that works. And will they be together or will they be separate and then?
No, they'll be together. I believe the entire time.
Okay.
They may do some solo stuff, but for the most part, they will be together. In 2007, they got together and recorded an album called The Enchantment, and it was
2007.
2007.
Okay, so they've done this for a while. Okay.
6-7 years old, and they just they really enjoyed playing together, and they liked the collaboration of the sound of the banjo and the piano, and so they started going on tour.
That's neat. Okay, and also, Ashley, we're very lucky to have have several important sponsors. So tell us about those. I mean, and how does the whole sponsorship work? I mean, can these sponsors pick a particular act to sponsor? Do they sponsor the series? Tell me how the whole sponsorship thing works.
Well, the sponsorship is new for us. I believe this is our 3rd year to acquire sponsors. So we're still young in that area, and we're doing individual performances. We are not at the stage where we're ready to have anyone ever sponsor the whole season just yet. But it's become quite a bloodbath because
I was going to say, how do you do this?
I get all of it together, and I make sure that everybody will allow a sponsor, and I get the packets together, and then I email them to everybody at once.
All at one time.
And I just wait because I don't want to take any precedence over one person over another.
And it's
so,
first come,
first serve, and they have to sign this piece of paper, circle the performance they want to sponsor, and send it to me. So I just send it out and I wait.
So how many did we have for these 2 series?
For these 2 series, I believe we have every performance. Every performance has a sponsor.
Really? Okay, tell us about those.
So for the Broadway, Arkansas Times is a sponsor for Cirque Dreams Rocks, and we're very excited. They wanted to get in there early and get their sponsorship
early
out
in the season.
Early in the season. And then the Log Cabin Democrat is a sponsor for the Addams Family musical.
Okay.
Of course, we like keeping somebody here in town to help us with that. 501 Life magazine is a sponsor for Broadway on Ice, and they were very excited. They jumped on that as soon as possible because of how unique the ice skating idea is. And then KARN Radio is a sponsor for Sweet Charity, and so that's the Broadway series. For Pops, Women's Inc. is the sponsor for the Grits and Glamour, obviously very
that
suiting.
makes sense, sure.
And then Straight No Chaser is sponsored by Y107, and their DJs are very excited about this. They came last year, so they jumped on the opportunity to sponsor it this year.
So did you have, I mean, did other people want, did more than one want?
Yes.
How many? I mean, we won't ask who or.
Right, but I had people that responded, and the Broadway on Ice was very popular, and Straight No Chaser, and people, they know the name value and they know how unique these performances are, and so I did have people try to acquire the same ones, and I had to say sorry.
But everybody who wanted to sponsor something has got something.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
They always have a backup.
And Ashley, this has grown. This sponsorship, like you said, we're in our 3rd year, but don't we have more sponsors this year than ever?
Yes, all but 3 of our performances this year have sponsors.
That's great.
And I could still acquire them if
anybody.
If anybody wanted to, I would take them. But yes, for the most part, we have. Last year, I believe we had 11 out of 15, and the year before, I think we had 7 or 8. So it is growing.
Okay, wonderful. And what does that do for us? I mean, besides the money and the advertising and things like that, but what do you think it says about the series and about UCA, just about UCA public appearances in general?
Well, I think that if a company wants to put their logo on one of our performances, it shows a good partnership between us and them, and then B, I think it elevates our performances to another level of saying, oh, Arkansas Times has this big magazine and all of the Little Rock Metro, and they want to sponsor something, and that's here in Conway. And so
that's true for an out of town
yes.
sponsorship.
So I think that really helps. And then with, let's see, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy is also sponsored by the Log Cabin. They're sponsoring 3 events this year, and they'll have another one that we'll talk about later. And so they're jumping on it and sponsoring more and more each year.
And they have been our local, they've been our longest term sponsor.
Yes,
can you say?
Yes, from the first year they were on board of sponsoring us.
It seems to me like it almost indicates a maturity for the series, for the public appearances. We're here, we're not going anywhere, and this almost legitimizes. Don't you
yes,
think?
I think it does. It definitely says that what we're doing is a high class act, and we're just bringing in the best that there is touring out right now, and it really says something about what's coming to Conway.
I think that's great. Okay, so tell us about tickets now. This is going to air in July and August.
Okay.
So at this moment, when we're talking, individual tickets are not on sale, but but some things are on sale. So talk about that.
Yes. Right now we are renewing season tickets. So if you purchased a season ticket last year, you've already received that information in the mail, and so it's up to you
get it back
to
soon.
Get it back to us and make sure that you get your seats for the next season.
Now, how does that work? Can you get your same seats over and over?
Yes, you can. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If you are a subscriber to the Broadway or the Pops, then you can renew your seats for that series. And then we've had a lot of people this year who had 1 or 2, and they decided they want to do all of it.
Oh, good.
I don't know how many phone calls I've received, or people say, I just want to renew, but I want to get all of them.
Oh,
so
great.
That's really increasing a lot this year. And then in July, on the 8th of July, which is a Monday, we will start doing subscriptions for new people. So if you are not currently a subscriber, but you would like to become one, that will start on July the 8th.
And then you take what seats are available after.
Yes.
Okay.
Whatever is
left. So if
left.
you don't respond early, if you're an existing season ticket holder, your seats will be up on the block for somebody
Absolutely.
new. Okay.
And so it's very important to jump on that. And then in August the 12th, so it's very important, August the 12th at 10 a.m. is when single tickets go on sale. So they'll go on sale. You can buy them online, you can purchase them over the phone, but I definitely recommend coming in person if you can.
Really? Okay, okay. So tell us a little bit about where to find more information.
Sure. You can give us a call. Our phone number is 501-450-3265, or you can visit our website, www.uca.edu/Reynolds.
Ashley, it sounds like a wonderful season, and you sure don't want to miss it, so be sure and join us again when we come back. For more information about the programs and people featured on the show, call the College of Fine Arts and Communication at 501-450-3293 or check out our website, www.uca.edu/CFAC. For more information about everything going on at Reynolds Performance Hall, visit www.uca.edu/Reynolds. Ashley and I will be back next time to preview the distinguished lectures and a night out at Reynolds series, as well as a special event, so don't miss it.